trying to get some information on if weekend tournament fishing. You go down, you practice, you find fish. Tournament comes, you can't get bit. How do you guys relocate, react? What are some things maybe you could tell me that would help me be able to react differently and find some fish, even though they're not where they were before?
You know, that's always the hardest thing to deal with. And some lakes it's worse than others. A lot of it has to do with pressure, particularly, and I'm not talking about, you know, barometric pressure or anything like that, but
fishing pressure.
Fishing pressure, boat traffic pressure. A lot of times, I think that the fish that you found don't actually leave, but they, for whatever reason, boat traffic, you know, other people catching them, whatever, they absolutely will not bite the same way that they were. Now that doesn't mean that you can't catch them,
right?
But a lot of times you might have to completely change what you've been doing. You know, say if you've been catching them on a spinnerbait, crankbait, whatever, something moving fast, you might have to slow down. You might have to catch them on, you know, a finesse worm.
When was the shaky head? Didn't try the drop shot, but when was the shaky head? Still couldn't.
A lot of times those, I mean, I've seen where those fish, when they get pressured like that, if they were, you know, up on the bank, up shallow, whatever, they will pull out and suspend just, you know, around nothing. Okay?
No cover or anything.
No cover, no nothing. And those are the absolute hardest fish to catch. And that's the fish, you know, about the only way that you can catch those is either some kind of if you can actually see the fish on your electronics,
right,
you can catch those fish on an Alabama rig, a jerkbait, maybe a drop shot. Those are the hardest. You know, most of the time when I know that those conditions are coming up, I'm going to be looking for something. I'm going to be looking for some little something. Maybe it's an area, maybe it's a technique that nobody else is using. Okay, I mean, you kind of pay attention to what everybody around you is doing, what they're fishing, how they're fishing, you know, if they're catching any fish. I fished a tournament just last month over on Fort Gibson, over in Oklahoma, and I knew it was going to be tough. I knew the weights were, you know, I knew there weren't going to be a lot of fish caught. Okay, and everybody around me is throwing little crankbaits, you know, flipping the wood, that kind of stuff. I see nobody throwing a topwater bait. First morning I get out there, I'm throwing my little crankbaits, flipping the wood, I'm not getting nothing, all right? But there's shad everywhere, shad all over the place. I see one fish out on this mud flat. Come up, chase a shad, I'm like, I got something for you. I troll over there with my little prop bait, boom, 5 pounder. Okay? I went on, I mean, I caught 16 pounds of it.
Right.
I wound up finishing second in the
you
tournament.
almost won the tournament.
But I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because I noticed that one fish.
Doing that.
You got to pay it in those situations when stuff's changing. Pay attention to everything around you and look for those little things. Look for something that's totally different from what everybody else is doing, from what you've been doing at times. And it doesn't pay off all the time. But when it does pay off, it can pay off big. That would be my best advice, is look for something different.